Alright guys, superhero comics are a daunting task. If you want to pick up Image titles, it's usually pretty easy. You go inside, you grab title 1, and you are pretty much good to go. And you just follow the next in a row. Easy, right? But if you want to pick up a manga, you do the same thing. You go grab volume 1, and then you just keep going. You read Monster volume 1, you read Monster volume 2. Hey, you got the story. Easy peasy, right? Okay, but then you look at Marvel and DC and you say, I want to try out Spider-Man. But then you see there's Spectacular Spider-Man, and Renew Your Vow Spider-Man, and Amazing Spider-Man, and many more. And you're just completely lost on where to start and how to start. Well, I'm gonna give you some tips on how to kind of begin getting into the superhero genre. Number 1, pick a character. The first objective here is to just pick a character. When I began comics, I picked bigger characters because that's who I was told about or learned about first. However, if you want to try any character in a huge universe, it's best to just focus on one for the start. Team books are usually a bit harder to grasp, and it's basically best to start with a single character, usually having simpler runs to latch onto. So right now, if you want to pick a comic character, just pick one, any character you like, and then that interests you, and we're going to start there. Number 2 is find a run. Unlike other comics, usually most people talk about runs for comics in DC and Marvel. Runs are basically an easy way to say when a writer takes a character and writes an entire series from start to finish, that is their run. For instance, Daredevil has been written by a few writers. There are a lot of good runs in Daredevil, but you'll hear a lot of people say the Bendis run was great or the Frank Miller run was great, which means that there's a start and a finish that tells a complete tale by these creators for that character. Sure, it might have some backstory from another run before it or lead into another after, but its main purpose is that it was written by someone for a complete run, that it tells a complete story for the most part. So when you hear the word run, try to find a run of a character. That means you want to start from the beginning of their run to the end to get a complete picture. Number 3 is don't read everything. Just because you love a character doesn't mean you have to read everything or want to read everything they have to offer. Back to the run portion of it, some characters have great runs and some not so much. It really depends on the artist and writer team and also the style that you are looking to enjoy. For instance, Scott Snyder did the New 52 Batman run, while Tom King writes the current Batman in the Rebirth run. So there are connections. Sure, if you read the Snyder run and then you read this and then you read the Morrison run, you'll be able to kind of boost your enjoyment. However, for the most part, you could just jump on the Tom King run and not worry about anything else. That's the thing. You don't feel obligated to read everything the character has to offer. Just don't. Even the order shouldn't have much to go. Just read the run completely. Don't have to read everything before or after. Four is branch out. This I can't stress enough. Once you got your fill of the Supermans and the Ironmans, it's time to branch out. The best part about comics is reading deeper into the world of the comic book universe, especially for the big two who have huge universes and lore to check out. You like Daredevil and Spider-Man? Sweet. Now try Moon Knight or Green Arrow. Don't feel obligated to only read characters who are popular or have movies or who are in TV shows. Well, that might be your first interest, and I think that's a good way to get into comics. You really want to step into the comic universe, you want to jump into the more unknowns to get a better grasp of the entire universe and all those characters within it. While some of them might be dull, there's plenty of great B, C, or even D-lister characters to check out. And remember, a lot of the characters you know nowadays did start as lower level characters and became big, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. So this is a great way and a great thing to do, is branch out after you start reading comics. And my number 5 is graphic novels. I truly think graphic novels are your best friend in this day and age. Not only does it look nicer collecting, but it's easier to pick one up and read a full arc to understand what's happening. Once you get into a character, it's a lot easier to jump into future just issues with a pull list or even digital. However, at the start, if you want to dive deep into a character and his background, look for the graphic novels. Luckily, a lot of the big two release bigger versions of older issues collected sometimes together, sometimes gathering anywhere from 12 to 16 issues for only like 20 to 25 bucks. It's not only a steal, but it's a great way to get a lot of the story in one go and not, you know, bust in the bank. Is that the phrase? Probably not. But the point is, graphic novels are a great way to get a lot for not spending too much at the start. Honestly, there's a ton of tips out there that I can go on and on about. Like, not every writer is going to give you what you want, but it's also perfectly fine not to judge a character or a series just by one arc by a writer. Sometimes they just have a bad arc or a bad start or a bad ending, but the rest is worth reading. Also, some artists or writers that you love usually put out something you don't like. Doesn't mean that you have to like it or feel obligated just because you like their other work. The key is to finding characters that work for you and then following the steps I listed above to enjoy reading them. I really hope that I helped somewhat today. I know it's still a daunting task. If you have any concerns or if you want me to help you find the first comic to read for a character, I will try my best. I try to branch out, like I said, as many comics as I can. So you can list one that you want below and I will link you with Amazon links or stock graphic novels to kind of get you into reading that character the best way and the easiest way. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you have any tips, list them below. I'm sure people would love that. And everybody have a good day, and let's stay focused on positivity here in the comic community because there's too much negativity today. We want to get people into it, not scare people away because you don't like something. Let's go.